Hello, what's up guys? If you think strings are just text in quotes, you're seeing only 5% of the picture. In this video, I'll show you how to slice, search, transform and use strings like a pro. Welcome to Ready Controls, the channel where coding meets clarity. In today's video, we are mastering strings in Python, including some advanced tips many beginners miss. So what is a string? A string is a immutable ordered sequence of characters. That means the characters stay in the same order, and once created, the string itself can't be changed. Let's observe this using an example. Three strings defined as text1 as machine, text2 as learning, and text3 is a multi-line string. You could use single quotes as I did in here, or you could use double quotes as I did for the text1, or you could use triple quotes. Triple quotes are used for doc strings or long messages. Let's look at string immutability. Immutability doesn't mean can't change string, it means you can't change it in place. I'll show that in an example. Go ahead and print this text to see what they will print. So we have text1 which is machine, text2 is learning, and text3 is a multi-line string. Now let's look at immutability. Is say I define name as, if I try to replace the first character in the string, which is let's print the first character in the string. So to print the first character in the string, you take the string name and do square brackets, and 0 will give you the first character, as character strings are 0 indexed. So let's try to print that and see what will happen. So when we run that, we got this again. You could see we printed the first character, which is 0 indexed string. That's why name square bracket 0 will give us j. If I try to replace that j with m by using this assignment, what do you think will happen? Python does not let you do that because we cannot support this assignment since strings are immutable. But one thing we can do is we could always replace the j with a m, and the way how we do is, so one thing we can do to replace the j with m, we can define a new name called new name, and we take character m, and this is where the plus operator comes in, which is used to join. So plus name, which is the previous variable which had John in it, and we'll use square brackets, and we want to use the characters from OHN, so those start with 1 colon. If I leave the end place as blank, it will go take the whole string. So this way I can so now if I print new, you could see now we had j and we extracted the remaining characters after the first character. That's why we started with 1 with the square brackets 1 colon and left the end of the string as empty, and we added that m to that OHN and we created mon. The other way we could accomplish the same thing is by using something called replace methods. So methods, we'll go ahead and define methods later, but for now let's look at this one example where we can use a dot replace. Say our string is a message, then it's hello, and we want to replace the h with a y. In place we could do message equals msg dot Whenever we hit the dot, we're invoking something called a method. That's why you see this M here, and we use replace. We want to replace the small h with small y, and let's print MSG. So just for clarity, let's print MSG before the dot replace method was invoked and after. So I will go ahead and comment out the previous things. So when we run this, we get the first one is hello and the second one is yellow. So that's how we use the replace method. We're not changing the original string, we are just pointing MSG to a new string which contains yellow. Now let's talk about basic operators. The first operator is combining strings with a plus operator. Say we have A as machine, a string called machine, B as a string called learning. If we print A plus and a space and a plus of B, we will get machine learning with a bracket with a empty space between them. As you can see, that's what we see in the output. So you could use the plus operator to join or concatenate strings. The other method we could, the other operator is repeat operator, which is a star or a multiplier, which will demonstrate that. So the next operator, ML star 3, that will print the character ML 3 times. You could see that it's repeated it 3 times. That's for repeating a same string multiple times. All right, that's repeating. Next, length is a function that gives the number of characters in a string. So we do that. So we have a sentence called deep learning. We want to print the length of that sentence, so we use a function called len and brackets sentence that will give us the total length. So that gave us 13 characters. We got 13 because there is a null space that's also counted. So let's remove that null space and execute it again. Now we should get 12. Okay, so length function calculates the space between the characters. Okay, say we have a quote and we want to print a quote that has characters like a, let's try. One is amazing, and one interesting thing with this sentence is I have double quotes at the beginning, double quotes at the end, and also double quotes in the middle. When we try to print this, we get an error because there is an unterminated string literal. To escape this, we use a backspace, which is called as an escape operator. So I just put the backspace right before Python is right before the double quotes here. So now if I print it, it printed out the double quotes. So now we want to print with an exclamation mark at the end. So having this escape operator, so escape operators is a backward slash in Python. Next we dive into the concept of slicing. We have our text, we'll take our text called machine learning, and if we want to slice or extract characters from individual characters from this text, we could always do print. We take text and we invoke a square bracket, and if we want to see the first character of that, we use text 0, that will print M. But if we want to extract the first 7 characters in that string, we start at 0 and we end at 7. That will give us the first 7 characters. It's a 0 based, strings are 0 based characters. That means the first character is at position 0, and this will give 0 to, it will give you the 7 strings, starts from 0 all the way to 6. That's 0 plus starting with 0 and the 6, so total of 7. Okay. Next, if you want to print the second portion, we start at 8 colon, and if we leave the end as empty, it will print everything after the second. So that printed out learning. If we take, if you just give nothing in this in the square brackets, we print the whole string as it is. What if we want to extract a string that skips every other character? So skipping every other character, so we do that by using print text square brackets. We start at the beginning, we go all the way to the end, and we give it a 2 that should give us every other character in. It will start with M, and then it skipped A, went to the other character C, skipped H, gave us I, skipped N and gave E, and it skipped the spacing, gave us L, skipped E, gave us A, skipped R, gave us N, and it skipped I and gave N, and it ended because there is no other character after G. So that's skipping every other character. If you want to try reversing this strings, we do print text colon colon -1. This will reverse the string as from back to front. Step slicing is powerful. Try reversing strings or skipping every other character. It's a powerful mechanism for strings. Now let's speak about methods. Now let's talk about methods. In Python, we also have something called methods, which are like functions, but they act on objects. We have used so far length and type and print hello. These are some of the functions. Methods are similar, but they use a dot syntax. Methods in Python is similar to a function, but it acts on a variable you already have created. Methods are specific to a data type that is stored in that particular variable. And to see what all methods we have, we could just type we take the variable called myString. That's variable myString, and the moment we enter dot, it will give us all the methods for the variable string. Okay, we'll go through some of this. And one of the method we can try is isLower. isLower is a method that tells us if the string is in lowercase. So we'll go ahead and run this. We get true because the whole string is in lower. We can also use a method called count that we could say count of. Which method we are looking at is counting how many number of the characters of a character we have in the string. That's called count. So we use myString.count, and we want to count how many A's are in this myString. So when we run that, we get 2 because we have 2 A's, A here and A here in Sebastian. And if you want to count number of T's, we just use the count method. We got 2 T's. There is also a find method that gives us the position of that method, the position of A in that. To find more information about each of these methods, you just type the variable name, which is myString, a dot, and you type f find. It will give you explanation about what it is, as you can see. Okay. So find gives us the first position where it found A. And the next method is to capitalize the string. When we run that, we capitalize the first letter S. If you want to convert everything to upper, we use the method called upper, which will change the string to all caps. Each method has its own behavior. Some take arguments, some don't take argument. Example, these are not taking any argument, like the capitalize and upper, but find and count are taking argument, but isLower is not taking any argument. So discover available methods. Just type a dot after your variable in editor, and it will show you all the available methods. So no one memorizes all string methods. What matters is understanding the logic and knowing how to find the help when needed, whether it's documentation. Strings are the backbones of real-world Python, from machine learning model names to long parsing and chatbot responses. Mastering them puts you ahead. Hit subscribe if this helped. More in-depth videos on data types, lists, and functions coming next. Thank you. See you all in the next video.